How do the new coronavirus variants differ from each other, and what are the impacts on the vaccine? The COVID variants first came about when genetic changes in SARS-CoV-2 was discovered, resulting in other variants. Some being more contagious. Some mutations affect the spike protein, which covers the outer coating. These proteins help the virus attach to human cells in the nose, lungs and other areas of the body. Researchers have preliminary evidence that some of the new variants seem to bind more tightly to our cells, Bollinger says. This appears to make some of these new strains stickier, due to changes in the spike protein, and therefore more easily transmitted. All viruses are made up of a bundle of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, which is a single strand of DNA. That's covered by a protective shields of proteins. Once a virus gets into your body, usually through your mouth or nose, it attaches onto one of your cells. The virus's DNA or RNA then enters your cell, where it can make copies of itself that go off and infect other cells. If the virus can copy itself and take over enough of your cells without being wiped out by your immune system, that's how you get infected. A virus occasionally causes an error during the copying process. This is a mutation. Occasionally, a mutation will give the virus a better chance of surviving and reproducing itself and will result in a new population. The main variants of concern at the moment are Omicron, Alpha, Beta, Gamma and Delta. These are all classified as variants of COVID, with Delta considered to be the most contagious variant. Two main variants up to date. Delta contains 13 mutations, 9 of which are in the spike protein. More than 2x more contagious. Omicron contains most mutations with at least 32 based within the spike protein. However, it is unclear how transmissible this variant is. This table shows how many mutations each variant of concern has, as seen Alpha, Beta, Delta and Gamma have significantly fewer mutations in comparison to Omicron. There are two main categories into which the variants are placed. These are variants under investigation and variants of concern. Variants under investigation are pending verification and validation of properties. Variants of concern. Once a variant is a validated variant under investigation, it will turn into a variant of concern. Omicron has now joined variants of concern confirmed by the World Health Organization. Variants under monitoring are new variants that have some genetic changes. These changes are suspected to affect virus characteristics that could indicate a future risk. The table shows the variants of concern that are currently being monitored by scientists. What are the main coronavirus vaccines? The COVID-19 vaccines currently approved for use in the UK are the Moderna vaccine, the Oxford, AstraZeneca vaccine, the Pfizer, BioNTech vaccine, and the Johnson & Johnson's Janssen vaccine, which is not currently available. The Moderna COVID-19 vaccine was designed to prevent coronavirus disease 2019, caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. The vaccine is a messenger RNA, mRNA, which does not involve the live viruses. There are 2 doses that are given 28 days apart, required for this vaccine. There may be minor side effects, but they are significantly fewer and less severe than with a COVID-19 infection. AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, now called Vaxzevria, is a viral vector vaccine. It uses chimpanzee adenovirus to deliver spike proteins from coronavirus into your body to create immunity. Vaccines are given in 2 doses, with at least a 12-week gap between each dose. It is an mRNA vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine requires 2 doses, ideally 21 days apart. Coronaviruses work by instructing your body how to produce spike proteins unique to them. This information is processed by your immune system, which produces antibodies as part of its response. J&J vaccines use an adenovirus vector, which is a modified inactivated form of adenovirus, a type of virus that won't cause disease in humans. Once the vaccine has been delivered into a host cell, adenovirus vectors can do no harm to the body. J&J vaccines can be given as a single dose. How do the different variants affect the vaccines? The early results from lab studies show that antibodies made in response to the Moderna vaccine are still effective against mutations found in the Alpha variant. Early lab studies show that antibodies made in are slightly less effective against the Beta variant. However, the effectiveness against the strain has not been tested on real people. Moderna has developed a booster vaccine which is in Phase 1 clinical trials in the U.S. Studies and data prove that the vaccine is 72% effective against the Delta variant. Lab studies show that the vaccine produces antibodies against the Gamma variant. Another study has shown that the Gamma variant didn't seem to affect whether these cells were able to react to the virus. A third dose of the vaccine will provide significant protection, and without the booster, the vaccine will still offer protection against the antibodies. 92% effective against hospitalization after 2 doses. A small South African study shows that the vaccine offers minimal protection, which may be as low as 10%. The vaccine is still likely to reduce severe cases and deaths. Oxford University is adapting the vaccine to protect against this variant. Public Health England found that vaccine is 92% effective at preventing hospitalization after 2 doses, and 71% effective after 1 dose. Lab studies show antibodies made are still active, though slightly less effective against the Gamma variant. The vaccine contains the genetic instructions for the whole coronavirus spike. Researchers are continuing to examine how effective the vaccine is against the Gamma variant. After the booster vaccine, the vaccine is 70 to 75% effective against the variant. The University of Oxford state that if the vaccine needs updating due to the Omicron variant or for any future variants, they have all the available materials to do such. 96% effective against hospitalization after 2 doses. A booster dose given 6 months after the second dose against the Beta variant, which is 5 to 10 times higher than after 2 primary doses. 2 primary doses of their vaccine will neutralize the antigens that the virus produces. Oxford University has proven that the vaccine is 94% successful after 1 dose and 96% effective after 2 doses regarding serious hospital admissions. The vaccine is slightly less effective to the virus. However, the mutations hardly affect how the body will react to the vaccine. 3 doses of the vaccine will neutralize the variant. 2 doses significantly reduce the chances of catching the virus. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine partially neutralizes the antibodies from COVID-19 against the Alpha, Beta and Gamma variants. Small studies from Johnson & Johnson show that the vaccine is effective against the Delta variant. The vaccine is 85% effective against Omicron after a booster shot. To conclude, overall, it is extremely hard to predict how the vaccine will impact us in the future, due to the new variants that keep arising. Scientists expect that the virus will be something like the common cold that we will simply have to live with each year. Due to the novelty of the virus, it is hard to understand if it will be something that will simply disappear in a few years. Others argue that a complete eradication may be highly unlikely unless a global commitment is made, which would mean a rapid vaccination program globally, sufficient public health between countries, and keeping close communications between nations and scientific experts. Thank you for watching our presentation.